back. I'm Tedward, and thanks to Boston Motorsports in Brighton, Massachusetts, I'm driving one of my dream cars. This is a 2019 991.2 Porsche 911 GT3 RS. I am so excited to drive this car because it has a 4-liter flat six that revs to 9,000 RPM. And I just drove an LFA that revved about 9,000 RPM. That was fun. This is pretty good too. Clearly not the same vibe, but hey, I am all about natural aspiration. So the RS, this is the track car. This is the one that you buy because, you know what, you want to drive to the track, you don't want to trailer the car, but you want to be the top dog at the racetrack and you don't want to spend GT2 money, or you just have to have the sound of this thing. It's a wide body, so it's very easy to identify that this is different than a standard GT3 because of some fender vents, the NACA ducts on there, the wide body, and scoops that normally only come on turbo models. So there's a heck of a lot of cooling going on here. From the 991.1 generation, there's quite a few changes from the engine to aero bits, but most notably this front spoiler, and the rear spoiler actually sits almost an inch taller than the 991.1. This car is in Miami blue, so I'm sure it'll show up differently on both cameras, but you know, it is Miami blue, it's not Mexico blue. And for those of you who complained about the GT2 RS spec, this GT3 has the carbon buckets and it has Miami blue seat belts. In typical Porsche fashion, when we open the rear hatch, there will be nothing to see anymore. It is quite boring back here. You basically just have oil fill, coolant fill, and that's it. Now, on the RS models, you don't even get struts. Everything is in the name of lightweight, so even these little brackets look like they're carbon fiber. So to get this hatch back down, we do this. Something odd you may notice about this GT3 RS, no carbon ceramic brakes. It has the steels, and actually, I think that's the smart move. So if you're not a Porsche person, red calipers mean steel, yellow calipers mean PCCBs. So I think the steel is probably the way to go. It's a heck of a lot cheaper to replace these rotors, but you would need to replace them slightly more often. I mean, look, it doesn't matter. You'll be fine either way. But one thing that is cool is the amount of grip you get out of this car. These wheels obviously staggered, but they're not only staggered in width, but also diameter. The front has a 265 section tire with a 20-inch wheel. The rear has a 325 with a 21-inch wheel. Center lock wheels, also very cool, kind of a pain when you get a flat on the street. But you didn't come here to hear me talk about tires. You came here to listen to flat six revving high. So, let's jump in. RS models, PDK only, no manuals, but still have our left ignition, foot on the brake. With a pop, it comes to life. Turn on our exhaust. That is just insane. It revs so quickly. Pardon my water, it is 91 degrees today. And these cup holders probably aren't going to handle what I would like to do. So let's pop these away and try to tuck this water in somewhere safer. This car is also equipped with a nose lift, which is pretty helpful. Unlike that GT2 RS that I drove, did not have a nose lift, but it's not that low. It's actually pretty reasonable. So we'll pop off our parking brake. I always go the wrong direction first, every single time, without fail. In normal auto, what an easy car to drive. It is just ripping off PDK double clutch shifts. Nice and low RPM. This isn't what you came for, but I think it's worth seeing what a car is like driving under normal conditions. Some people, you know, you only see the crazy track footage. It's nice to know what it's actually like. These carbon buckets, so comfortable. I love these seats. All right, let's get her in manual. We've got the exhaust on. I'm gonna leave the suspension in normal mode because it's a little bit of a bumpy road and we don't need any of that. So let's get over this bump and open her up and see what she sounds like. You really gotta commit to getting to 9,000. It's a long way because the gearing is pretty long. Brakes, phenomenal. Oh, would you expect anything less? I mean, it has so much grip. We really can't like genuinely exploit this car on a public road. It's just, there's so much grip. It's grip forever. It's crazy. But we can give it a little romp in a tunnel. Try to be nice to this fella. Wow. Wowie, wow, wow, wow. That's a lot of grip. Yeah, that's no joke. Holy cow. You can even feel the tail just kind of balance a little bit. It steps out just a touch on trail braking. Oh, and I'm only kissing the surface of this. I love it. So here's the thing. I asked the question in the GT2 RS video, what would you have, a GT2 RS or a GT3 RS? I think my answer now is GT3 RS, having driven it. This engine is insanity. You have to go for this, right? I mean, yeah, it doesn't have the torque. We're only working with like 360 pound-feet of torque or somewhere in that neighborhood. But my God, the sounds it makes are just biblical. So real quick, let's talk about like normal livability. You're not gonna daily drive this car. What does daily drive even mean? If you own this car, you have like 6 cars. So you probably don't daily drive anything. You just drive whatever the heck you want. But this car is stiff. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you've got good roads, like we're on a nice paved surface right now, this is fine. Like you're not gonna get banged up in the car, really on any road, but you know, you are gonna be noticing that it is a rigid ride. And if you do have to go through some crummy roads like we have here in Massachusetts, you know, is it ideal? Probably not. You're going to be fighting with the car and hoping that you don't hit the wrong pothole. And, you know, that's just a truth of life, right? And, you know, here we are. We're in normal mode, comfort mode. Toss that into sport. Like, yeah, it firms things up a bit. One of the best parts about a GT3 RS is the brakes. That's what gives you confidence to go fast, to really dive into a corner. So if we go ahead and bite into these a bit, it's just nuts. I mean, the initial bite, because these are a pretty aggressive pad, takes a second to warm up. I think that also might be a factor because they're the steel brakes. And once there's just the tiniest bit of heat in them, we are sent. Wow. So much cornering ability. We don't even have heat in these tires. We're not even near a track, but Cup 2s, man, they do an incredible job of just being the dual tire. Let's go. Wow, 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 wow. That is, yep, that's probably my favorite thing. Here's the deal. You just have confidence to stay in. You can just stay in forever and ever and ever. It's gonna be fine. It has so much grip. This car has so much grip. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I did not have the guts to stay in it in the 2RS. Definitely did not have the guts to stay in it in the 2RS. This car, not a problem, because there's not so much torque that's gonna overpower that rear end and send you flying like the Widowmaker in the turbo. You know, you're gonna feel everything communicated through the steering wheel. And I think that's the hallmark of a good Porsche, is that the driver tactility is uncompromised. You get the entire experience you paid for. And somehow they managed to weave in the wizardry of grip and traction and incredible braking performance and all these things that keep you stable and settled on the road, but you still feel like you're doing it. And that's what's wild about these GT3s, because it's very easy to make, I mean, not easy, but it's easier to make a car that seems like it's doing all the work for you. You feel the nanny step in. You feel things happening that you didn't ask for. And it's the manufacturer saying, for your benefit, we're gonna add a little bit of this, a little bit of that to make sure you're not a dum-dum and die. And while this car certainly is adding a little bit of this and a little bit of that to make sure you're not a dum-dum and die, it does it like behind the curtain, behind the scenes. It's absolutely insane. Steering weights up really nicely. It's not too light. It's an e-pass system. I'll never forget, everybody freaked out about it on the 991 when it first came out. They figured it out along the way. Everyone's quiet now. Your neighbors will definitely know you're here. When I think about GT3 RSs, I think about Francois Delacour. When Chris Harris took him in basically like a prototype 997.2 RS, and oh my God, he just like whipped it through the French hills in the countryside. It was like probably the craziest drive I've ever seen. But here, you know, that was a less accessible car. This, I can just jump in this and go for it. And just like that, we're down to reasonable speeds. We can be respectable neighbors. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're gonna want to rev it out. Highly recommend, a big surprise. I highly recommend this vehicle. I absolutely love the carbon buckets. They're pretty comfortable. You can do a long road trip in them. They are not oppressive for like a proper racing seat. It's a racing seat. And it just kind of blows my mind that you can actually use this every day, you know, with this seat. Yeah, that's my favorite thing in the entire world. I dig it, I want it, I love it, I need it. This is the thing. Oh my goodness. All of the things you own should rev to 9,000 RPM. I think that's a good place to start. Do you own an LFA? No, you should get one. Do you own a GT3 RS? Nope, you should probably get one. And this one's a lot more accessible price-wise. I know, I'm being ridiculous. It's $200,000, but wow. Love it, need it, have to have it. I am very happy. Don't know that I would, my back has been getting thrown out lately. I might really mess it up with this car. I might really mess up my back with this car. You're gonna pull a muscle, because this thing will pull well over a G laterally, and that's not like, oh, I put sticky tires on it later. That's just like how it is. I want to give a big thank you to Boston Motorsports, part of the McGovern Auto Group in Brighton, Massachusetts, for the opportunity to drive yet another dream car of mine. This one especially very, very good. Oh, very, very good. And no one's going to complain about the spec on this unless you just hate Miami Blue. So shut your traps. It doesn't need the PCCBs, and it has the correct seats with a normal seatbelt color. Oh my God, I love it. All right, that's enough. I got to go take it back. I don't want to take it back. Maybe I just won't take it back. Maybe this is it. The YouTube channel is done. I am leaving forever, and I am going to go away in my GT3 RS. Ah, damn it, we've been spotted. That guy was just taking video of me. That's not good. That's not good. Now they're already hot on the trail. Please don't forget to respect the drive, and I will see you in the next one. Hopefully, I don't know, probably in something normal. I don't think I can keep up this streak. And I keep driving LFAs and GT3s. I mean, that's an okay life to live. I'm fine with that, but you know, I think I could use a Civic. I could use a new Civic. Well, you know, for me, I could probably, like, honestly, like, personally, I could probably use a new Civic. So maybe we'll go drive some Hondas. All right, I'll see ya. Bye. I want to leave you with a few final thoughts on the GT3 RS. You buy the RS because you want the most accessible turnkey supercar for the track possible. There's really nothing that needs to be done to this car before you can go and run it hard, like really hard. It'll handle the heat, it'll handle the abuse, and it'll just keep going. This is like a reliable supercar. The next question, though, is it a supercar? Is a 911 ever a supercar or an exotic? That's up for debate. But my goodness, with this wing, the color, and the fender flares, it's hard to argue. And with the magic of a little bit of brakes, we found that there was another water bottle in the car. Brakes always reveal what's really in the car. But nothing, honestly, I don't know any other cars that are harder to record audio on than a GT3. These engines just, the sound evolves so outrageously throughout the rev range that it's like a screaming banshee, and then it's like hard to not get it to peak. So please forgive me. If there's any peaking audio, I apologize, but my God, Porsche makes it so difficult.